So today we're looking at some metals that we excavated from Vigla in 2008, and one particular interest of mine are these, which we have identified as sling bullets, but the ancient Greek or Latin isn't actually sling bullet, it's glans in Latin or molybdides in Greek, which just mean kind of lead or acorn. So you can see here, here's a fragment that we excavated. The site has produced well over 100 examples, and 30 of those are inscribed. But what we're looking at today specifically is the manufacturing techniques, and essentially how these were manufactured. There'd be a two-sided clay mold with indentions in those. That clay mold would be closed, and there'd be a central feeder chamber with little branches that would come off into the chambers that created the bullet itself. And unfortunately, none of this has really been published. There is a fragment of a mold that was discovered in Greece from an unprevious context in the north. But we were able to, in our excavations, actually find these little lead feeder chamber things. So what we have here is we have the central feeder chamber and then these little branches that come off. And once we publish this, it will be the only example, published example that we have of actually sling bullet manufacture, which is interesting. So we actually have this piece here, which is, don't know exactly how many they would cast at a time. So there's this example here, and we also have a smaller piece here. More than likely, we're thinking that this is probably going to be the end of it, just because it's so fat on the end. But the interesting part of Vigla, we know it's fortified. We have other types of militaria coming out. We have catapult bolts. We have other arrowheads, and then a massive fortification wall going all the way across. And the interesting component, one of the things that I'm really interested in, are the fact that some of these are inscribed. And the inscription types, they differ. There are other published examples, but primarily what we have is we have names in the genitive and the dative, as well as an example of a name with the verb poieo, to make. So the example we have actually is andron apoiesa, so andron made this. So it's showing a manufacturer in the genitive case. The traditional argument has been that that's some kind of military commander of some kind, because we have direct comparanda from Philip of Macedon siege of Olympus, where there are dozens, probably at least 20 examples there of Philip in the genitive case. So we can be fairly confident that genitive case is representing somebody actually in charge of the siege or issuing the bullets themselves to be cast. So it's an interesting dynamic. What we have here at Vigla, it's a smaller site. Again, it's fortified, and we definitely have manufacture there. We definitely have other militaria there, so it just adds an interesting dynamic to the site.